this is a big moment for sure for this team.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. Great moment. First game at the crib. Coach K's first game at home in his last season. So much to play for. Set the tone. Come out early. Use that emotion in your favor. Enjoy having fans back in the building. We're happy to be here to be able to witness it.
I believe Duke will come out very similar to the way they did against Kentucky with that type of energy. However, Army does not have the talent that Kentucky has. This might get ugly early if they come out with that type of energy, especially if they can match the energy of the Crazies right now.
The energy is off the charts, and we are ready to get things rolling here at Cameron Indoor. For Carlos Boozer, Corey Alexander, and myself, we'll send it to Dave O'Brien and Chris Spatola.
Kelsey, thank you. And how sweet it is to see and hear the fans back again. The Crazies back at Cameron Indoor. Number 9 Duke taking on the Black Knights of Army with fans in the stands here for the game. One that counts for the first time in over 600 days. We'll walk to the floor for a home opener at Duke. 42 amazing years. And oh, by the way, Duke has won 39 consecutive home openers tonight. He's facing his alma mater. And so my partner, Chris Spatola, also says hello to his alma mater, West Point. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dave O'Brien. Chris, great to see you again. And also thank you so much for your service and so many veterans around the country this particular week. Duke looked terrific in their opener against Kentucky inside Madison Square Garden. Some things to fix, but they are loaded again.
Yeah, it wasn't so much that they won, it was how they won on the biggest stage the sport's going to have until the Final Four in the Garden, like you said, to open Coach K's last season.
And it was impressive who they went to in different situations, but obviously you're talking about the birthday boy. Banchero was outstanding as he dropped in 22 and hauled down 7 rebounds.
Yeah, both freshmen were outstanding. Trevor Keels, I thought, was the backbone down the stretch of that game, down winning time. But Banchero, man, the ceiling is in the stratosphere for this young guy. You go back 10 years, he's taken in the top 5 of the draft, Dave, but as a center, now he is all over the floor. What a special talent.
Newcomer who swept the preseason ACC awards. He was tapped as both freshman and ACC Player of the Year. A lot on his shoulders, but he certainly looks like he can carry the weight. Hey, we're tired of waiting. How nice it is to have people in the stands again and hear that sound as we get it underway. Duke winning the opening tip as we give you a look at the starting lineups, including Jeremy Roach, who's back, the sophomore, Trevor Keels, that talented freshman you were talking about, Wendell Moore, Mark Williams, the 7-footer. The first long one on the way by Keels. I asked you before the game, who will Duke turn to for long-range shooting? You said that's him.
Yeah, of the guys who play the most minutes, he's their best perimeter shooter. They were 1 of 13 from 3 against Kentucky. Keels had that only 3 the other night.
Josh Caldwell in close with a misfire. He's Army's best player. He's their top returning man and a senior. How about this quick start? Banchero on target. And 6-0 as we give you a look at the Army lineup. Last year 12-10, 7-7 in the Patriot League. They rely heavily on their big man, the 6'9" Charlie Peterson, the sophomore from Indianapolis. And they're chilly right out of the gate. Jalen Rucker with a miss. Or for the big man Williams, the 7-footer. And the first miss for the Blue Devils. Tuesday in the Garden, a 79-71 victory. That was Coach K's 1,400th game at Duke. And put up the victory. Some banging in close. Moore comes away with it. Going to be a fascinating guy, I think, to watch for Duke this season. Named a Duke captain in October. Fought his way through that awful shooting slump, Chris, last season.
Well, he's what college basketball used to be about as Roach finishes at the rim, Dave. Wendell Moore's gone through the process. You know, had a very big reputation coming out of Charlotte, out of high school. Slow progress through his first 2 years, but he committed, I thought, in the offseason. Got his body right, his game right. He's taken the leadership mantle, and I expect a big year from him.
He'll miss here. Duke welcoming back fans to Cameron Indoor for the first time in 616 days. Again, for a game that matters. Coach K, of course, former point guard at West Point. Turnaround. That won't drop in by Peterson. He got the shot he wanted.
He did, over the length of Williams. You know, that shot blocking ability, it's not even the block shots, it's the altering of shots and the presence he consumes in your mind. You have to game plan for the shot blocking of Mark Williams and Banchero. I mean, they're very big up front, this Duke team.
Banchero looks so comfortable under those bright lights in the Garden, didn't he? As Williams rolls inside, and it rolls in. Mark Williams with the bucket, the sophomore out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. And exactly what Army could not afford to have happen, fall behind like this. Down the lane and in. Nicely done there by Duhart, the 6-foot senior. What a great story he is.
He's terrific. Aaron Duhart tore the same ACL twice in high school. The second time he did it, he was a senior, and he didn't get a repair date because he wanted to play in the state championship. He goes to the West Point Prep School to rehab it. He matriculates up to Army. He tears the same ACL for the third time in his sophomore year. Ends up rehabbing that. You know, at that point, Dave, after 3 ACL tears, you know, I'm thinking maybe you hang it up.
I'm with you. Yeah.
He says no.
That's incredible. That's a mark of spectacular character. A little contact there, but Rucker will stick, and all of a sudden Army on a nice run as they have ripped off 6 in a row.
Getting that first bucket is big if you're Army. This is a lot to take in, especially if you're playing here for the first time.
You know that firsthand. Knocked away and out of bounds by Caldwell, who is the reigning Patriot League Defensive Player of the Year. So Coach K will go to his bench. Banchero coming off. He had 22 against Kentucky. And so more to put it in. Up top for A.J. Griffin, another freshman. Named to the Julius Erving Small Forward of the Year watch list. And Joey Baker, you talk about pure shooters. On the drive, hanging in the air and swatted away. Caldwell had a shot rejected. 15:43 to go here in the first half. A spelling contest. That's our tease as we come your way from Cameron Indoor.
You spell Krzyzewski with a K. K. That's it. Yeah, it's hard enough for me to pronounce it.
No, I can't. That's embarrassing.
Yes, I can. K. C-O-A-C-H-K.
I know it ends in a S-K-I.
I want to say, is it K-R? K-R-E? K-R-J?
First of all, it's K-R-Z-Y-Z-E-W-S-K-I.
Here's how you spell it. I'll do it once. Hey, Bobby Hurley, come on now.
His number's coming down from the rafters. I mean, come on, Hurley.
10-6, Duke in front. Taking on Army tonight. Of course, Coach K, the winningest coach in college basketball history. Army has caught fire. Rucker will stick it.
They're going to have to knock down some perimeter shots tonight. You know, that 3 balls is the ultimate equalizer in the game.
Stripped on the baseline. And a whistle with 15:09 to go. It'll go the other way and be Army ball on the turnover. That's number 3 for the Blue Devils. I think as you look at the strip here on the baseline, some good defense by the Black Knights and by Rucker. The point guard, he'll drive it. Can't get that one to go. Theo John ripping down the rebound. I asked about John's wingspan. It is 7 feet 3.5 inches, and he is all of that. Griffin lost the handle. Right back for Caldwell, trying to drive it, knocked from behind by Griffin. Right back to Army. Isaiah Caldwell, brother of Josh, loose on the baseline, and he'll keep it here.
You know, early in this game, Dave, there's probably some nerves. The environment is overwhelming. It's not so much shots going in, which they are starting to for Army. It's shot quality. Really nice shot fake on that last possession. Took his time. He wasn't sped up by the size flying at him. That's why I think if you're Army, you know, Duke doesn't shoot it well against Kentucky. What do they do to start this game? They bang down 2 threes. And I think once that first bucket for Army went in, they've settled into this thing.
Forgive the reference too, but Army will come at you in platoons. They have a very, very long bench. That one barely nicking the iron by Ness, and a tie-up right inside the lane.
Your military puns are good with me all night, Dave. Fire
yes,
away.
with you, I know I'm on safe ground, and we all feel very safe in this building tonight, don't we? I mean, there's some serious military hardware here.
There is.
You know, you've got generals by the dozen. Army on a 9-0 run. And of course, I know how proud you are of your time at West Point. You're a terrific guard at West Point here. You got a chance to play here.
Did twice. We got blown out both times.
Had to be a thrill and a half, though.
It was.
If you're going to get blown out here, right? Up top, Coleman. Dribbling it away and stolen away by Moore. Moore on the attack and slams it down with a tomahawk jam. Well, he did it all there. Spectacular play.
And those are the things you've got to limit. You know, the ball's got to move, body's got to move. You're not going to be able to just stationary dribble in front of a set Duke defense, because, boy, are they going to get after it. And here's Wendell Moore turning defense to offense. And that's going to kill you if you're Army. You cannot. You've got to be able to set your defense and force Duke to work. You give them runouts, and they're going to kill you.
Whistle and a foul. Jamie Lucky on the call. Well, we were at practice yesterday and talking with Coach Hay afterwards, and obviously everyone's talking about the great offensive skills of Banchero and Keels and the other guys, but he said, look, we will play defense. This team will play defense. Trust me on that. He was as serious as a heart attack.
Well, they had a good game plan. You know, I talked to the guys before the game, the Army team, before their shoot-around, rather. And I said, look, you know, don't look down in layup lines and see Banchero and Keels like I saw Boozer and Shane Battier and Jay Williams and Chris Duhon and think you don't belong here. You belong. Trust your preparation. Trust each other. You guys will be fine because you're going to compete.
Banchero down the lane. Loose ball scooped up by John. He'll spin inside. Could not finish. Well, Army head coach is Jimmy Allen, who spent much of his childhood living at West Point, New York. His father was a 1967 West Point graduate who spent 20 years in the United States Army. Jimmy also has done well in this regard. He has a winning record against Navy, and that really counts.
Yes, it
as
does.
you know. Moore with a miss, and Army will let that one float out. 12-9, Duke in front. 12:57 to go in the first half.
You know, the thing that I am most impressed with Jimmy Allen is the consistent level of play he's brought to the program. And it's not easy at a service academy. You know, the last 3 years, they finished 4th, 4th, and 5th in the Patriot League. And if you're going to be good, you have to be consistently good. You can't have one good year, then 3 bad years. I think this team this year, he's excited. They have more athleticism, more depth, more shooting than they've ever had. Jimmy's done a great job with this Army program.
Yeah, last year, just Army's 4th winning season since a young Mike Krzyzewski led them to 3 in a row in the 1970s, right before he took the Duke job in 1980. Jalen Blake's another talented freshman into the contest out of Blair Academy in New Jersey. Yet another McDonald's All-American, wearing number 2 for the Duke Blue Devils. What is that, 85 McDonald's All-Americans recruited by Coach K? Just remarkable. Roach unable to finish. And up and in for 2, and a 3-point play potentially here. Banchero has 5 early on. Going to the line.
You know, the glass was an area, and obviously they're bigger than Army is, but the glass was a real issue the other night for Duke. I mean, they got absolutely mashed on the glass, mostly by Oscar Tshiebwe. You know, if you're Duke's coaching staff, Dave, it is reasonable to think, when you look at the box score, I mean, they were 1 of 13 from 3. They only had 7 assists. They got killed on the glass, and they had guys cramping in the second half. It is reasonable to think that their team did not play all that well. And so the point being, they obviously won the game, there's a lot of room for growth, and there are areas where this team's going to have to get better.
Another turnover. Keels scoops it. On the drive, draws the foul. He'll be shooting 2. And coming up next, Hubert Davis and number 19, North Carolina, hosting Brown at the Dean Smith Center. That's right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. I just love being able to promote games coming on after us, a full night of college basketball. And of course, a new coach coming in. Hubert taking over that storied program at Chapel Hill.
Yeah, they look good the other night, and they look different. You know, we were promised a little more spacing on the floor. The addition of Brady Manek, Hubert Davis using that transfer portal. Manek has played a lot of college basketball in his time at Oklahoma. They're going to be a fun team to watch this year.
Caldwell to the lane, little floater. Good position. Banchero with the rebound, the 6'10 freshman out of Seattle, Washington. Duke's first player from the state of Washington since Quinn Snyder. Lakes threw it away, scooped up by Caldwell. One of 3 returning starters for Army, so they have a good feeling coming into this season, and that will drop down. Nice touch.
And their defense is starting to help them. You know, they play a man-to-man, but it's really packed in. It kind of looks like a zone. And again, if you're Jimmy Allen, you look at the box score the other night, you see Duke's 1 of 13. Like, you're inviting some threes.
Well, Kill's got a good look, got his own rebound. Blakes can't stick that one. So Army able to bounce back in this one. They were down 10-0. Turnovers keep piling up, though, and a reach-in foul by Peterson, trying to slow up Trevor Keels. Easier said than done. He'll pick up number 1. Saluting our heroes. Certainly a great time to do it. 11:04 to go here in the first half at Cameron Indoor. Saluting America's heroes, and we are so very proud and thankful for the service of Mike Krzyzewski, then a young Army captain of Field Artillery. Chris Spatola, an Army captain, Field Artillery, off to Iraq. And that's my son, Michael O'Brien, Army Specialist, 82nd Airborne, who was sent to Afghanistan and just recently passed the bar. So he's an official attorney. So.
Well, Dave, thank you for your service. Parents are as much a part of that process as anybody. So thank you for what you have done.
And to your folks as well, and I certainly agree with that, because as they tell you, if you're a member of a military family, the entire family is part of everything. Wide open, Banchero on the other end to finish it. As Williams found him after ripping down the rebound. Banchero with 8 points. Not sure how you lose track of him. I'm watching him the other night as Dan Shulman and Jay Billis are doing the game, and I'm trying to figure out a weakness with him. And you can watch all night. You're not going to find one.
No, you're not. You know, it's amazing in just the time he's been here on campus. You know, he's put on 8 to 10 pounds of muscle. He's become more economical with his game. You know, he had a tendency to over dribble. And there were times the other night against Kentucky I thought he did that, but he's become much more economical. He's very coachable.
Caldwell stopped in the corner. Army barely got that last shot off, and now this shot clock is down to 4. Got to get another one in the air. Back here for Dove. Not there. So a couple of big defensive stops here for the Blue Devils. Carroll thought about it. Now, the other thing about talking about Coach K's career, we talk about the national championships and all the wins. He won 3 gold medals, of course. It was a tremendous spin move inside. Banchero again.
It's just all over the floor with him. I mean, it's amazing. This is the future. The future is now with the game of basketball. I said it earlier. If 10 years ago, he's drafted in the top 5, but as a center. And he's out here handling. Here he is on the break. This pass.
Off the fingertips of Keels.
And he's a willing passer. Here's this play, this first one, just beautiful footwork, really good speed. Doing a little bit of cherry picking here, but he deserves an easy one. You know, he's got really strong parents. In this day and age where I think we have parents who are going to coaches and teachers and saying, I need you to do this for my kid. Rhonda and Mario, his two parents, said to Coach K, he's yours. You're the expert. If he needs a kick in the rear end, you call us. But he is yours. And I don't think we get enough of that these days. He's a terrific young man. He's very coachable, and it's one of the reasons why he is going to be an unbelievable basketball player for years to come.
Well, we have a women's college basketball double dip for you on Sunday at noon Eastern inside the Carrier Dome. Neil Ivey and Notre Dame squaring off against Syracuse. And then later on, Florida and number 5 NC State at 2 p.m. And a bump and a foul on the sideline by Theo John. You know, I would say, and it's a great story about Paulo's mom and dad. I would say, well, I wish all parents had that kind of wisdom to say, that's Coach K. He's won more games than anybody in the history of the sport. He's won 5 national championships. He's done everything you could do in coaching. Go ahead and mold him as a player. I'm not going to get in the way. That would just seem to be wisdom to me.
You would think it's becoming more uncommon. But you think about the last two, you know, real big names. I mean, they've had great players here, but you go back to Zion, just a great person. You know, always had a smile on his face, loved being here for the year he was here, comes back. And Paolo's the same way.
John, good look underneath and slapped away, and a tough defense by Army. We're talking about all those first-round picks. 42 NBA first-rounders, 24 in the last 10 years, 28 NBA lottery picks. Nobody's had that many. And how about the bottom line? And it is the bottom line. $2.5 billion by draft picks coming out of this program. Just incredible. Earned in the NBA. Caldwell driving it with the left hand. Pretty move.
Yeah, very nice. And they've been able to get some early stuff. You know, Army will run. They'll run off of makes and misses. They play a lot of guys.
Roach finds an open man. Moore. He swishes it in. A three-pointer. Nothing but net for Wendell Moore, the junior. So the Blue Devils open up a 10-point lead. Josh Caldwell trying to answer but can't. And Moore will bring it up. This is the other thing about Duke that's scary for opponents. One of many things. They've got 4 guys who can bring the basketball up the floor.
Yeah, they don't really have a point guard. And we'll see how that manifests throughout the year. But one of the, I think, strengths early is the ability to get out, get the ball off the glass. Multiple guys can push and multiple guys can initiate in the half court.
Roach kicks it out. Griffin a 3. A little too strong. Fight for the rebound. Army with the win. Well, inside their conference, the Patriot League, Navy and Colgate were the class last year. Should be again, along with Boston University. Inside Peterson to finish.
Jimmy Allen was telling me the other day, Colgate and Boston University brought back 9 super seniors between them. And Army and Navy can't do that. I mean, they just don't do that at the service academies.
Or again, not this time. Rebounded by Duhart. Out of Richmond, Virginia. Some contact, no whistle. Caldwell's open from 3. Got a good look, no doubt about it.
Those are the ones in a game like this, you want to spring an upset. You got to bang that down.
Well, fans in the stands here at Cameron Indoor, seeing a slew of talented new players, including 3 McDonald's All-Americans. Army crashing the glass. Duhart comes out of the pack with it. They want to run, and it's broken up by Roach, tipped away from behind. And we will take the timeout. 5:51 to go here in the first half. Duke on top 23-15 over Army.
I'll never step away from college basketball and the love of the game. It's the right time because that's what me and my family have decided to do. Thank goodness that we're in a position where we can control that and that the sport doesn't control it for you.
It's no secret if you've been lucky enough to cover the Duke program how important family is for Coach K. It makes all the sense in the world. But Jon Scheyer stepping into some shoes that, I don't know, we were talking about this earlier. Has a college basketball coach ever stepped into bigger shoes than following Coach K at Duke?
Yeah, certainly not in the modern era. You know, it's an unenviable spot outside of the fact that you're the head coach at Duke. It's going to be tough, but they got the right guy. You know, I had a chance to coach John. I was on the staff while he was a player here. Won a national championship in 2010, and there are certain guys that, you know, a lot of players say they want to be coaches, but there's certain guys you look at and you say, that guy is destined to be a coach, and Jon Scheyer was definitely one of those guys.
Baker slams on the brakes. What is his quality that compares with Coach K that you'd say, well, that's just like Mike Krzyzewski?
You know, they're amazing with moms, first and foremost, when it comes to recruiting. You know, coaches, you know, they're relationship builders, and I think it's one of the things in this one-and-done era that Coach K, has tried to figure out, how you build those relationships in a condensed period of time. And I think John came around at that perfect time to see Coach go through that process, and then he's good at it to begin with. He's got credibility, and he's got a great mind for the game.
Well, he's going to be 35 years old after the season when he gets the job. Coach K was 33 when he got the job in 1980. In the corner, Baker gets a good look, buries a two-pointer.
You know, I think this team too, Dave, I mean, I think this has the chance to be the best defensive team Duke's had since 2010. Certainly the most physical team they've had since 2010, and we're talking over a decade.
Army with the answer by Rucker as he will drop into three. Well, as you mentioned, a 2010 team, that was a national championship team, so when you're throwing around a very high standard.
Well, I mean, that Zion team, which went to an Elite Eight, is nowhere near this team defensively. You know, and toughness alone is not going to make you a champion, but you can't win one without it.
Duhart got tied up in the lane, draws the foul. Here's tomorrow's college football lineup right here on ACC Network. Noon Eastern, 6-3 Clemson taking on UConn. Duke then looking for their first conference win. They take on Virginia Tech. Capped off by our ACC Network primetime matchup presented by Geico. Battle for first in the Atlantic Division. Devin Leary and number 16 NC State taking on Sam Hartman and number 12 Wake Forest. That is a great quarterback matchup. Those two guys should be a dandy right here in the ACC Network.
Dave Doran's going to like that you mentioned Devin Leary first. A little disrespect he's feeling towards his quarterback. This is going to be a big-time game, Dave.
Devin Leary has been left off several of those quarterback watch lists. I have no idea why. He has had a sensational season. Stolen away by John as he stepped in to grab it. Chance for a fast break. Not a good pass to Baker. Duke had an opportunity to cash in, couldn't do it there. 4:20 to go here in the first half. Yeah, I think Dave Doran has a very serious point because his team's having a great year. They have a chance to go to the ACC championship. Winner of this game is going to have the hammer there. But Wake Forest is averaging something like 57 points a game their last 3 games with Sam Hartman at quarterback. He's had an amazing year.
Waiting to see how many times you say mesh point tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's on the list. That's the Wake Forest offense. Very unusual. Trip and a foul here. That'll go against Banchero. And Paulo picks up number 1 as he tripped up Rucker. Dave O'Brien alongside Chris Spatola. Thanks so much for joining us in this week where we celebrate America's veterans. And Army here at Cameron Indoor. And as part of this classic over a couple of days, Army has to come back and play tomorrow afternoon here at 2:30.
Yeah.
Step back here by Rucker, but no. Blue Devils want to run. Baker's not going to wait. And that is going to be over the top of the backboard. Will go back over to Army with 3:50 left in the half. And Duke stalling a little bit offensively. 25-18, the Blue Devils in front.
In that NCAA tournament, he's now at Oklahoma. And a lot of those guys, Dave, getting very active with that transfer portal. It's a way to get healthy quickly after they've changed that rule where guys can play right away.
Changed the face of college sports.
Sure did.
In all sports, really, particularly basketball and football. Peterson trying to spin to his right, well defended by John. They're going to keep it right here with 3 on the shot clock. So not much time here for Army. Last year made a trip to the postseason for the first time in a while. They went to the College Basketball Invitational. We've got a timeout. Quick one here, 30 seconds, 3:22 to go in the first half.
It's only a 7-point game.
Well, you look up here, and a little more than 3 minutes to go in the half. This is just a 7-point game, Chris.
Yeah, and I don't think Coach K is pleased right now. A bit of a sleepy half, and give Army credit. They've been very deliberate when they've settled into the half court. You know, they've wanted to run. They've got some buckets early.
That's going to be a shot clock violation. They had 3 seconds to do it, couldn't get it off. But Duke is just 3 out of 12 from three-point land, and they've turned it over 8 times.
Yeah, and that's the other problem. And some of those in transition where they've just kind of thrown the ball away.
Moore drives it right by everybody to lay it in. Now you look to a veteran guy in a spot like that where you kind of need a bucket. Maybe not desperately, but you need to get some momentum back. And he cashes in. Duhart, slick feed, Peterson lays it up and in, and he'll be at the line. Big Charlie Peterson, the 6'9" sophomore from Indianapolis.
Yeah, all 3 of their bigs for Army are sophomores. And Jimmy Allen is really, really high on Charlie Peterson. You know, it was a hard time last year keeping him on the floor. He got into a lot of foul trouble early in the season, but he's gotten stronger. He's a big key for them this year. They play through that 5 a lot in their half-court offense. He's really skilled and shows you the ability to finish there.
Banchero picked up number 2. Peterson led Army in their season opening win with 17 points. He did not miss a shot in that game. He was 6 for 6. And a 3-point play. 27 to 21. Banchero will come out. Coach K will not risk another foul here with just under 3 minutes to go in the opening half. Heels out around midcourt. For the corner, Jones, yes. Bates Jones coming off the bench and draining a long one.
How about that? Sits for 18 minutes and knocks down his first shot, which is a 3.
Duhart, nice turnaround. You mentioned a guy, 3 torn ACLs. He's got some game.
He sure does. Came off the bench last year for them. Gave him a big lift when he would come in. Now he's a starter. It's been a remarkable journey. Just a resilient journey for Aaron Duhart.
Army hanging around here at Cameron Indoor. Another long distance shot, but this one barely nicks the iron by Baker. He is not hot at all coming out tonight. Trying to pound it in close. Caldwell, yes. He drops in 2.
Tough shot, and that's where that early offense, when that Duke defense isn't settled, and Duke not doing a great job of identifying where the ball is in transition. Army's done a nice job pressing those one-on-ones in early offense.
Josh Caldwell will pick up the personal foul. Jimmy Allen's got to be very, very happy with the performance that his team has put forth. They were down 10-0 in the blink of an eye tonight.
Well, they played here during that Zion year, and we're competitive for a half. You know, we're not afraid. You go back to last season, they beat Buffalo, LaSalle in a non-conference, and they really should have beaten Florida early in the year. They had them beat. And all 5 of their starters this year played big minutes in that game against Florida.
Moore from the corner. Three-pointer. Very confident looking shot. He has 10. What a nice sign that is early on. And the defense here, Kills rips it away. Sticking to his defender like Lou. Moore again, not this time. A big tangle up in a rebounding battle and a foul on the deck with 1:04 to go.
Nice kick here by Trevor Keels. And that's the area I think for Wendell Moore offensively. Just his feet set, he could become a very good shooter. And how about Trevor Keels? He's such a contradiction of sorts. I mean, he's a combination of grit and finesse. He's not a bull, although he can be. He's very much under control. He's a very skilled basketball player, but there's a toughness and a grit about him that you gotta love.
Officials are taking a look at something here. A lot of banging and a rebounding action here. They got Charlie Peterson for his first foul for the Black Knights. But they're reviewing something over at the monitor. 1:04 to go. Good crew here tonight. Jamie Lucky, Les Jones, Ryan Sassano. The officials for Duke's home opener. They have won 39 consecutive home openers under Coach Mike Krzyzewski. Now in his 42nd year of this legendary career in American and international coaching in his final season. And 33-25, the Blue Devils with the lead, but have been unable to break away despite a very hot start. Army really hung in there. They dug in their heels. They fought back, and they have stayed in the game. You're checking the last three-point attempt by Wendell Moore to see if he intentionally stuck his leg out.
And it looked to me like he did. Like, I think he's intentionally trying to draw contact there. And so that's a good decision, I think, by the officials to say, let's go look at that.
So Moore, who's been feeling it, has had a good first half. Offensively and defensively for the Blue Devils. He has 10 points. We're taking a look at that play.
That ends up being an offensive foul if they deem that he was intentionally doing that.
Good look from behind the rim.
And it's a really good contest by Isaiah Caldwell without fouling.
So they're going to say that was not the case. No offensive foul on him. It's just a common foul and a rebound against Charlie Peterson of Army. And so the Blue Devils will have it on the baseline. More to check it in. Slick inbounds, and Keels with the finish. That was easy.
They got some important buckets under out of bounds against Kentucky. Really good design and execution there.
Peterson keeping that foot down. Harassed by John, and it's a 3-second violation. More tough D by the Blue Devils.
Just really good design here and good execution. Little deception. Keels initially sets the back screen, then he will screen the screener.
10 turnovers for Army. Around the back, Moore. In tight, draws the whistle. He'll be at the line shooting 2. 40 seconds to go in the half.
And that same play again that they did the timeout a couple minutes ago where Moore just keeps it. You fake that dribble handoff, and he stays baseline. Better defended this time by Army, but you can feel Wendell Moore is sensing we better have a good finish to the half. Kind of taken over here in the last couple minutes.
You know, he did recover after that awful shooting slump over the last 15 games or so. He shot about 45%, scored 11 points per game, 5 rebounds, but really got buried with all those shooting woes early in the season. 36-25. Poked away. Keels collects, lays it in. Trevor Keels, the freshman, with 8. Rucker trapped and almost lost it. It's out of bounds off Duke with 11.4 to go.
I mean, somebody's got to come be a receiver. You can't just watch the ball handler dribble. He's being hounded by a bulldog. Somebody's got to come be available.
As you said, there's a lot of finesse in Keels' game. He's also built like a tank. Final seconds of the half. Caldwell trying to make a move. And it'll go the other way. Offensive foul. So 3.6 to go. And Duke will drop a play here. 38-25. The Blue Devils on top of Army at Cameron Indoor. So Coach K drawing one up here with 3.6 to go.
You know, with no Banchero on the floor, this probably has Wendell Moore written all over it.
Moore has been the main offensive guy at 12 points in the victory over Kentucky. As you mentioned, Banchero with a couple of fouls. So we'll see him in the second half. Jones to put it in. Keels. He's on the drive all the way through, and he can't finish at the buzzer. On a strong move to the hole, but Duke on top 38-25 at halftime. And after the break, Kelsey, Carlos, and Corey get you caught up on ACC hoops. All the action right here from Cameron Indoor Stadium. I like it. The Cameron Crazies on full display here tonight at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Duke closing the half on an 8-0 run, so they took their biggest lead of the game going into halftime. Dave O'Brien and Chris Spatola with you. Nice run there by Duke, but they had a fight on their hands, even though they started, Chris, 10-0, and it looked like they were going to put the hammer down. Army came back strong.
Yeah, they did. You know, Army's competing their butts off. They really are. I thought the end of the half was not good for Army. And the fact that they're 2 of 11 from 3, they're going to have to knock down some perimeter shots to equalize this game. And I thought Wendell Moore and Paolo Banchero really imposed their will. You know, Wendell Moore, a couple threes in that half, and then Banchero, you know, really all over the floor, you know, knocking down a perimeter shot. We saw him on the block. We saw him in transition, and he's got 6 rebounds. Well, I thought he really got active, imposed his will. There he was, cherry picking a little bit. You got to get some free lunch every once in a while. NIL is ever present. And then Wendell Moore. You know, I thought he felt the malaise. There was a little bit of a laziness for most of that half for Duke. I thought Wendell Moore felt it. His defense, you throw Trevor Keels' defense in there as well. I thought those two guys at the point of attack really changed things for this Duke team down the last couple minutes.
Wendell Moore, 11 points. Also had 4 assists. As we check out our game summary, Duke on top 38-25, and the top scorer for Army was Josh Caldwell. He had 8 points along with Jalen Rucker. Charlie Peterson held to 5 after coming off 16 points in their season opening victory. Duke Blue Devils coming in number 9 in the country after an impressive victory over Kentucky, even though they didn't shoot the ball from 3 very well. So 38-25, Duke on top. And Wendell Moore and the Blue Devils ready to get back at it against the Black Knights of Army. And here we go into the second half. Banchero gets doubled up, got the pass free to Roach. Banchero back up high. Moore off the three-point line will drive it, contact, no whistle. In and out. Banchero with the rebound and a whistle.
You know, the other interesting part too, Dave, is we didn't hear Mark Williams' name a lot. You know, this is a game where a guy of his size, length, and athleticism, you got to hear his name. He only played 10 minutes. wasn't all that active.
Jared Cross picks up the foul for Army, opening seconds of the second half. Becomes a big factor in his second 20 minutes. Off Banchero, and Duke will turn it over quickly.
Just not what you want coming out of halftime. I mean, it's a bad angle to enter the post. If your Keels reverse the basketball, get a better angle, give Banchero a chance to catch that and make a play.
You make a great point too about Williams, the 7-footer, who closed out last season so strong. He had a great month of March. Down the stretch, he was outstanding for the Duke Blue Devils. In fact, he averaged 18.5 points, 7.5 rebounds in the month of March.
I thought Oscar Tshiebwe's physicality bothered him the other night.
Banchero scoops it, dishes, back to Banchero for a slam on the alley-oop by Roach. Well, that'll wake you up a little bit. Caldwell taking the lane, shut down by Banchero. Up high, Rucker, no. On the run out, Roach to the paint. He's denied. Williams kept it alive. One dribble down, bang it underneath. And no basket, fouled before the shot. But he went after it strong there.
You could put this pretty much anywhere with 6'10", 250 filling the lane. Paolo Banchero. Look, I know Zion Williamson took over the world in his year here at Duke. But in terms of ceiling, in terms of who I would take right now, in terms of future, you're not going to get me off this kid, Paolo Banchero. I mean, you know, again, his size, his skill set, he's gotten stronger just in his time here at Duke. He's the future of this game. You know, he reminds me a lot of Paul George. He's actually a little taller, obviously, than George, and he's not the defender. But that's the type of skill set.
In this game, he has 12 points, 7 rebounds so far. Army having difficulty just handling the ball now against the Blue Devils, who are swarming on defense. Just underway here in the second half at Cameron Indoor. Too hard. A reacher on a foul from behind. They'll get Williams. That'll be his first personal. Closer look at Paolo now. Hometown Seattle. Long jumper early. Number 4 recruit in the ESPN 100. Opted out of his senior year of high school today, turning 19 years old.
You know, and ask Coach K about the 2 freshmen. Ask about Banchero, and he had a look of awe on his face. You know, look of awe about the potential. When you asked about Keels, he got a wry smile, as if to say, people are going to find out about this Trevor Keels. Like, he really likes Trevor Keels.
He misses on a 3. 40-25 Duke. Rucker trying to take the baseline, will draw the foul. Jeremy Roach. That'll be his 3rd. So Roach in some trouble. Sophomore from Leesburg, Virginia. 3 personals. And now Isaiah Caldwell checking in for Army. Part of the brother tandem for the Black Knights. Rucker to check it in now. Rucker at the point. Peterson back to the point guard, who lofts it up there and swishes it in for 3.
They needed that. Stop the bleeding.
That gives him 11. He's quietly had a very nice night here at Cameron. More from the corner. Banchero has it slapped away, and no foul on the play. On the run, downstairs for Caldwell, and Josh Caldwell with the finish. He has 10 points. So every time it looks like Duke is about to really put on the gas here and blow past Army. Banchero, the stuff off a nifty spin. Can you say here's a pro move? Goodness gracious. Way downtown and off the front iron by Rucker. Banchero at the handle. Williams trying to dump it down low. Banchero not there. How about this dandy?
No, when Charles Darwin was gallivanting across the Galapagos Islands, he came to one life-changing conclusion. Big turtle, eat little turtle. And when that big turtle can move in the post like that, can dribble, pass, and shoot, you've got yourself an evolutionary marvel.
And he has 14 and 10. And a couple of sensational plays like that already tonight. Army looking for an answer. Ness gives it up for Caldwell. Shot clock down to 10. Ness will fire. Yes, nice smooth feathery touch there.
It was.
Ness just a freshman from Laguna Beach, California. Keels wants that paint. He's denied. Right back at him by Caldwell. Will run through and miss on a layup. He follows his own miss for two.
Nicely done. Staying with the play. The brother of Josh Caldwell, both brothers out there playing together.
John, wraparound pass, a beauty there. No whistle underneath. Keels was asking for one, but no foul. Just good defense. Here's a three on the way, and that won't drop. 42-34 Duke and the basketball. Try to help the Blue Devils to gain a rhythm with about 15 minutes to go in their home opener. Banchero turns. It won't drop in.
No, obviously that's a shot he can make. You'd love to just see him put it on the floor and go to work.
Rucker, and they get a timeout before he turns over the basketball. 14:57 to go. Of course, we're all thinking about our dear colleague, the great Hall of Famer Dickie V, so closely associated with this program at Duke, and we'll have more in just a moment. Message of goodwill and get well very soon. Can't wait to see him back and broadcasting games again.
I had a story for Dick Vitale. Maybe I'll have to tell it after this.
Yes.
So unless we change the rule, can we change this rule going back to break here?
It's an appropriate tease. Hey, coming up next, Hubert Davis at number 19, North Carolina, hosting Brown at the Dean Smith Center right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Army has outscored Duke 9-4 first 5 minutes of the second half. You're talking about Dick Vitale. And a wonderful thing he did for you when you were serving.
Yeah, this was in 2005. I was on a deployment, and I think it was Coach K who told him that I was deployed. And Dick didn't know who I was. A couple weeks later, he sends a care package, this giant box. And it's from Dick Vitale, and inside it was amazing. It was like all this Dick Vitale branded stuff. There was like a mini basketball and a book and I think a poster, and a lot of the stuff I still have. He signed it all. Awesome, baby. And
Baker off balance in the lane. Anything to eat in there?
There was nothing to eat, nothing consumable. But the soldiers thought it was the greatest thing that a package from Dick Vitale found its way to Baghdad, Iraq.
I mean, that's Americana landing right in your lap, right? Baker off the fake. Jones back up top to him. Duke trying to add to a 42-34 lead. I know from my son's experience in Afghanistan that when one of those boxes arrives and there's stuff to eat, it's gone in 3 minutes.
It is.
And the guys can't get enough of it. Shot clock dwindling down to 5. Keels off to Baker. Keels with a three coming. And tapped out. Second effort. They will not wait. Swished in by Baker with a triple.
He's got to knock down shots, Joey Baker. I mean, that's what he's in the game to do. He's a bit of a specialist in that regard.
Caldwell, a determined drive, and draws the foul. Moore didn't think so. He'll pick up his first and send the Army guard to the line. Caldwell, the reigning Patriot League Defensive Player of the Year. Very tough offensively, too.
Just a tough drive, and they've really had that all night. You know, when they've put it on the floor and they've attacked the paint, they are expecting contact. They understand this is a physical Duke team, and they've gone in there to score or get fouled.
So at the line to shoot, but back of the iron on that one. And Duke will bring Banchero back on along with Williams. 13:31 to go. And Caldwell with number 2. And misses the pair.
Got to have those.
And you're waiting for one of those patented Duke runs of like 15-0 or 21-1. Who we've seen so many times in this building under Coach K. Banchero drawing the whistle, but no basket. He was fouled before the shot.
You know, Banchero's so smart too. I mean, when you're gifted with all the things he is, it's easy to just kind of gravitate out to the perimeter. And I thought he spent more time than he probably needed to in the Kentucky game. Maybe would have reserved some of that energy. He ended up leaving the game cramping. He finds himself on that block at 6'10" with his skill set. He's a willing passer, so he could make plays for others out of there.
Inbounds, they run it, and Moore will drop it in. 13 for Wendell Moore. And is this where that run begins? Swatted away by Williams. A battle for the loose ball. Man trying for it. Torn away from him. It'll go the other way. The Blue Devils will come up with a basketball. 12:53 remaining.
There are no free lunches at the rim against this Duke team. I mean, that is what he does. He's an exceptional shot blocker, really bouncy, good instincts, and good length. No, he's got to be more active on the glass, though. We know he's going to block shots. Teams are going to have to game plan, scouting report for that. He's got to be more active on the glass and doing that.
I would say that's on cue, right? You talk about being active. How about rising up into the rafters? And a timeout, Army. 49-34. Williams with a monster dunk. Duke with a 7-0 spurt last 59 seconds.
I mean, Mark Williams is 7 feet tall and just a nice job stopping. You know, I think he was supposed to come across the lane. He identified that the help went early. Charlie Peterson trying to fight over that early. And Mark Williams just stopped on that opposite block, pointed to the sky and said, throw it to me.
Well, you had just begun talking about the necessity for him to get more active, really on both sides, offensively and defensively. He blocks a shot and then goes up high to slam it down. Now we'll see if Army can recover. They've been able to do it all night long after taking some punches. Man with a 3. Too strong. Banchero snags the rebound. Here come the Blue Devils again. And Moore will set up a play, glancing at Coach K. In his 42nd and final season as the head coach at Duke. Turning and firing Keels, but no. Caldwell, Army's best player, had to pass Skip right to Rucker. He cashes in with a triple.
A good ball movement. Starts with the find. You said it, Dave. The drive by Caldwell. Good skip over the top. A nice extra pass.
Rucker, good night with 14. Banchero working on man. Body to body into the lane. Draws the foul. Paulo Banchero, the 6'10 freshman, to the foul line.
I thought Jalen Rucker should have been the Rookie of the Year in the Patriot League last year. He was not, but he is expected to have a big year. Steps into that one. He is wet.
Well, a close look at the Coach K coaching tree at the very top. Of course, Tommy Amaker at Harvard.
Tommy Amaker, Johnny Dawkins, of course, teammates in their time here. Bobby Hurley, back-to-back national championships. Quinn Snyder doing a nice job at the Utah Jazz. Nate James, a national champion. Imagine the continuity over 42 years. Number of players who have come through your program, who come back every summer.
I think you can tell that the fire remains in the belly of Coach K. At 75 years old, turned 75 in February, but remains as focused and as laser driven as ever. And talk to him around practice for 4 or 5 minutes. You figure that out very quickly. Up top, here's Rucker to drain it. He's had a really nice night here.
Sure has.
He has 17 points.
Yeah, he's a star in the making in that league. I mean, he's quick. He's really shifty. Clearly, he can shoot it.
Williams on the high post. Banchero. Moore zips it to Roach. Good ball movement. Williams, but short. They got a good shot, but could not connect.
He went right to work. One dribble right up. You can live with that shot and the miss.
Rucker again, driving by Moore on the dish and laid up and in by Peterson.
Jalen Rucker going to work.
One of the prettiest plays all night by either side. 51-42, no quit in Army. Roach, pass deflected, came to Banchero, knocked out of his hands off Army, back to that dish.
I'll say it again, he did not win Rookie of the Year in the Patriot League last year. I thought he should have, but he is a star in the making. Puts it on the floor, shows you the vision. Knocked down a couple shots this half.
Oh, tipped up and in. High up there, Williams again. No one's going to mess with that shot. For the 7-footer, he has 6 points. Caldwell lines up at 3. Rebound coming out high, and the hustle there by Wendell Moore. Long pass ahead, Roach. He's wide open, plenty of time. Got it.
It's another name that we have not called a lot tonight, primarily because of foul trouble.
Jeremy Roach averaged 9 and 3 assists a season ago. Now a sophomore. Rucker, little fall away. Oh, is he on fire? He's single-handedly keeping Army in this thing.
Sure is, and making the most out of his visit to Cameron Indoor Stadium in Coach K's last season.
Give him 19 points. Jalen Rucker, sophomore from Baltimore. Roach again, yes! Sweet as you please with 8 points. Quickly down the other end, laid up and in by Mann. Army did not wait.
That's the type of play that can't happen if you're Duke. You know, their transition defense has been an issue spot here tonight.
Caldwell, nice hesitation, but blocked. Tough defense by Baker, but they do get him for a foul. And we'll have a women's college basketball doubleheader for you coming up on Sunday. Right here on ACC Network. As mentioned, Notre Dame and Syracuse. That comes your way at noon. Followed at 2 o'clock by Florida against number 5 NC State.
How about Maya Dodson and Maddie Westbeld for Notre Dame? First 2 games averaging 34 and 16 combined.
Neil Ivey with that program. She was a great player in her own right, of course. Phenomenal player. Notre Dame has had so much success in women's college basketball over the years. And the men are going to be very interesting to watch, I think, this year in the ACC. Don't you? They got early meeting with Kentucky coming up in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, a program that's taken its lumps the last couple of years. Yeah, I'm with you, Dave. And I'll tell you the program that I think is going to have a fantastic year is Syracuse. You know, you always know Syracuse's defense is going to be there because it doesn't change. You know, they play their zone, and they're going to be very good in it. But when their offense is good, that's when Syracuse takes a jump, and they can really score this year.
Of course, Jim Boeheim and Coach K, great friends, colleagues, work together a lot. A high degree of respect between those two great coaches. Kick out for Moore. Shot clock at 8 now for the Blue Devils. Roach over the shoulder. The shot won't drop for John. And a whistle, a foul on the deck against Army. 8.5 minutes to play. And this has been a tussle for number 9 Duke, unable to shake Army, although the shot out of the gate 10-0. Army came right back, and they've hung around all night.
They have.
Time for a 1-1 here. Foul against Duhart, his second, and putting Wendell Moore to the line, the junior from Charlotte. Named a Duke captain in October. 60-48. And again, Army with a very quick turnaround. Now, Duke will also play tomorrow night. They will tip at about 8 o'clock. Army has to tip in the afternoon at 2:30.
Yeah. After competing in this game, and they're playing a very good Hartford team.
Picked off by Wendell Moore. One-man fast break through the lane for 2. And a timeout, Army. Duke with a big lead in fast break points, 13-4. Wendell Moore, 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists to light him up here. Our impact players tonight, Jalen Rucker with 19, and Wendell Moore, 8 assists. That's more assists than Duke had against Kentucky in the entire game.
Sure is. He also has 8 rebounds. You know, veteran guys, they don't pick and choose the nights they show up. They show up every night. You know, they're here to work every single time they step on the floor. And Wendell Moore has been the most consistent player for Duke tonight.
Coach K hoping that will be the case all season long. Talk around here, very special season brewing for the Blue Devils. Knocking off Kentucky right out of the gate in the Garden. Great way to start, and they run a nice play. Army cashes in. Duhart with the basket. He has half a dozen points. So it was 13 at halftime. Duke in the lead, and it's back to 13 now. Shovel pass here underneath Keels. Hung in the air and lays it in.
Used that big body to carve out his space. Got a nice angle on a good feed.
Gatorade Virginia High School Player of the Year. He averaged 29 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. That's another thing you can do is pass it straight on off the front of the iron. Roach. Rebound comes to Keels. Another fight for the rebound. Bodies on the deck and a foul with 7:14 to go. Back to Keels in space.
You know, playing in the post is about where you catch it, the angle you have. You know, you gamble defensively and you give up an angle, and Keels with that big body going to carve out his space. What a great high school career he had. He was a 3-time Player of the Year in the D.C. Catholic League at Paul VI. For anybody who knows, that D.C. Catholic League is really competitive.
Now the officials are going to go to the monitor after the collision in the paint. So 7 minutes, 14 seconds to play. It was ruled a double foul on the floor. And Theo John along with Charlie Peterson as they did the banging in the lane.
Well, you know that the Army is not going to be giving up any ground, and you know that if you look like Theo John, you're not going to give up much ground.
Now Theo John, 6'9", the graduate out of Marquette, played in 124 games at Marquette before coming to Duke. You talk about invaluable experience. Had almost 200 block shots in his career for Marquette. Take another look at that play. Thinking hook and hold.
I mean, the hook there would be on John, I think. He kind of comes up with that left arm, and he's got it held down and hooked. That's a lot going down. Big tree fall hard.
Oh, yeah. In both cases. Charlie Peterson, 6'9", 223 pounds. So they're going to get a flagrant foul here on Theo John on that play. That is the ruling by Jamie Luckey and Les Jones, who just went to the monitor. Crowd doesn't like the announcement, but 7:14 to go. Goes against the Blue Devils. We saw something tonight we will not see again, and as Coach K walking onto the floor that bears his name, Coach K Court, for the last time for a home opener. And the crowd with a giant salute, 65-50, Duke in front, but a flagrant here will send Peterson to the line. And a big sophomore from Indiana with a misfire. They'll get another one. And Coach K will bring Williams and Banchero back on the floor in a moment. 1 of 2 for Peterson. He has 8 points. (65-51). Of course, Army will have the ball as well. And John to the bench.
It's a big possession. You know, you cut it to 12, maybe 11, and then it falls on your defense. You know, any type of comeback starts with your defense.
Picked off. And this guy has been a star in the second half. The slam by Roach. He's given him a nice lift.
Yeah, he has.
So that's the biggest lead tonight for Duke. On top, 67-51. Rutgers swings at Peterson. Nice shovel inside Caldwell.
And a good cut by Caldwell, identifying there was really nobody underneath.
Well, you can really see in the Black Knights a well-coached unit.
Yeah, no question. And smart players. Like, these are smart basketball players. Understand the game.
Banchero. Keels open for 3. He got a good look. Out of the pack comes Rucker. He's been the man for Army. Keels, good hustle. Loose on the baseline. And it's going to go the other way, and Duke will have the basketball. So that paid off. Terrific hustle by Trevor Keels.
A really good play. That backflow coming from behind the play, Keels. And it looked like it went off Keels.
It did there. So Duke gets a break. Keels swooping in. Lost the handle. Attempting to shoot the basketball. Didn't get a good angle on it. Here's Caldwell.
You know, those are the kind of shots, Dave. Again, you want to spring an upset, you're going to have to knock down those types of shots. You can't miss free throws, and you got to make wide open threes.
Especially coming in here if you have that dream. Williams with the screen, and a foul against Army. 5:19 to play. And a 14-point lead for the number 9 team in the country. Foul will go against Peterson. He picks up his 4th. That was an issue last season for the big 6'9" sophomore. Foul trouble. So that'll put Roach to the line. Jeremy Roach and Trevor Keels on the floor together, and Roach is a grade higher than Keels, but they've been playing basketball with each other for years, going back to middle school. And then high school in the backcourt at St. Paul VI High School in Virginia. They won a state championship. Two of them together, and they played on the same AAU team as well. Keels calls their bond just crazy. He said, I've been learning from Jeremy since I was a high school freshman. Chemistry pretty obvious between those two. 69-53 Duke. Duhart harassed by Moore. Trying to get closer, can't do it. Shot clock to 10. Peterson harassed by Williams. Buckle down defense here for the Blue Devils. Pushing back Rucker. Trying to get closer on the floater, and that's going to be a shot clock violation.
That was a great defensive possession. The length of Duke really bothered Army there, and they were in concert. Duke was acting in concert. The ball screens, the crossing actions, really well defended there.
Wendell Moore's had an outstanding all-around game. Airborne here. That was a difficult angle, but it went anyway. Wow. You know it's your night. So the Blue Devils starting to open it up. Caldwell to the left hand. No. Banchero to push the tempo. Roach will set it up.
There you go. Call for it. Give it to him.
Banchero across court. Moore
nice.
Inside for the slam.
See, and that's why you give it up. Like, throw it to Banchero. He's a willing passer. And if you're Banchero on that play, now you know you're going to get it back. I mean, that was a really good offensive possession.
See, Chris, once a coach, always a coach. You see a great look, a great pass, and you're nice. Doesn't matter which side, it's nice. Roach trying to take the baseline around the back. What a night for Wendell Moore, by the way, as he has achieved a triple-double in this game. 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. Fifth player in Duke history to do that. In traffic, Roach will draw the foul with 3:15 to go, and a 20-point lead. He's done everything tonight.
He has. He's had a heck of a night. That's a veteran right there, Dave. No nights off. Come to play every night. How about that? Fifth player with a triple-double.
First time I met Coach K was in 2008 in Beijing in the Olympics. So I was a player on the USA team, and he was in his first tour as the men's national team coach. And we were walking to opening ceremonies. Our teams were together and had a chance to walk with him. And we chatted about basketball, and he knew my college coach, Pat Summitt. Obviously, I played for an absolute legend in college, and now I get to coach with an absolute legend on the same campus. So it's pretty cool.
And a terrific coach in her own right, Kara Lawson, our former teammate at ESPN. We were talking about 5 Duke players who have achieved a triple-double in their career, and Wendell Moore with 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. The others, R.J. Barrett, Sheldon Williams, Gene Banks, and Art Hyman did as well. Art Heyman a long time ago, but able to achieve that. Coming up on 3 minutes to go. 75-53 in traffic, and Army is going to lose it back over to the Blue Devils.
It's like both coaches have exercised their benches as this game got to 20 under 3 minutes.
Griffin in the paint. Got it to go. Showing you some of that strength.
Yeah, he's an important player, Dave, because they're going to have a bench. They're going to have a couple guys who can contribute off that bench consistently. And Griffin has got to be that guy. He's too talented.
Baker zips it ahead. Blakes will finish. And Duke took a little time to really break away in this thing, but they have done it here inside the last 4 or 5 minutes, and they're laying it on 79-53. Blakes went up high and draws the foul, or actually knocked out of play. No whistle as far as a foul is concerned. Knocked out of bounds. Every Saturday, the Huddle with Jordan Cornette, Eric McLean, E.J. Manuel, and Mark Richt get you ready for ACC football. They preview the slate of games and keep you updated on all things in the ACC. 10 a.m. Eastern right here on ACC Network.
Who wins the Coastal?
It is a great question. I'm focusing this week on the Atlantic, which has the great matchup. The ACC Championship. Don't count out Clemson either, because the Tigers only have 1 loss. Baker will fire the 3 as far as conference play is concerned. And that opens up an 82-53 lead. In traffic, knocked away. Batted again. And Army will be at the line for a 3-point play attempt with 1:23 to go. So that ended a 16-0 run. (82-55). So the Blue Devils breaking away here in the late stages of the second half. Baker on the wing. He'll loft a 3. The shooting touch really hasn't been there for him tonight.
It has not.
Under 1 minute to go here. Army with the basketball. Early in the game, they made a pretty good statement. Even though they got really punched in the chest and down 10-0, responded and hung in the game. They were down 13 at halftime. Made a couple of runs to, stay in the thing here in the second half, but were overwhelmed here and never led in the game.
Well, they've acquitted themselves well, and it's the United States Military Academy, so you don't play for moral victories. But, they fought, they competed. They're going to have a very good year in that league. And like you said, the score is not indicative, I think, of how this game played out.
Griffin off the head fake. And rebound back to the Black Knights, who won their opener and about to drop to 1-1. Duke about to go to 2-0 and will play again right here at Cameron Indoor tomorrow evening. Army has to turn around and play in the afternoon at 2:30. And a rebound knocked out of bounds off Army. Back to the Blue Devils it goes. Well, tonight welcoming fans back to Cameron Indoor for a meaningful game for the first time in 616 days. And they have loved every minute of it. They have been in full voice, just as college basketball ought to be. And it was a great sound from Jump Street. And a nice finish for Duke as they're 2-0, 82-56 the final over Army.
Yeah, well, they pulled away down the stretch, like you said. This was a big statement by Wendell Moore. I think this was a big statement from your veteran leader to come out and be consistently good in this game. He had a really good night.
Well, I've got North Carolina coming your way next with Dallin Cuff and Malcolm Huckabee on the call. We say goodnight from Duke, where the Blue Devils sail to the victory 82-56.